Are you stuck on which niche to choose for your SEO agency? I own an SEO agency and I'll go over exactly how I chose my niche and how you can choose yours. Quickly diving into things, I get this question all the time. What niche should I choose for my SEO agency? So let me answer this for you. And why should you listen to me? Why am I the right person to tell you what niche you should choose for your agency or help you decide? I own my own SEO agency where I help SaaS startups, specifically SaaS startups, build and grow through SEO, ranking on the search engines. Could be for Google or any of the other social media channels. I actually also mentor to over 2,000 students on how to build SEO agencies. So this is me down below. If you see here, this is me, and I teach a course on how to build an SEO agency, as well as I mentor one-to-one, one-to-many, etc. You can also see here my little comments from my students as well about how I help them. Cool. So now I can help you too, and I'm trying to get my experience out there a little bit more. So the first thing is my goal at the end of this video, you will have the hardest part done, which is having your niche chosen. So if you're trying to build an SEO agency, at the end of this video, I hope to accomplish that you'll have at least an idea of what your niche should be. So what is a niche, first of all? Because you can't decide a niche if you don't even know what that is. So what is a niche? In technical terms, it's a specialized and focused group of customers that a business serves with unique products or services, allowing it to stand out from the competitors that try to appeal to everyone. This is a mouthful. What the heck does this mean? Let's break this down. So the first thing you should notice is group of customers. This is niche item 1. You need to understand who your potential avatar is, right? For me specifically, it's SaaS startups. It's not SaaS companies making $10 million in annual recurring revenue, right? It's SaaS startups, software companies that are trying, that have just started up, maybe they're still in funding. So that's niche item 1. You need to choose the potential avatar that you will be giving your SEO services to. Niche item number 2, which is here, is unique product or service. This is quite easy because I'm specifically talking about SEO agencies. If you are a broad agency, you have to dial down on this a bit more. But right now you can just say SEO. But I will say that you need to dial down on your offer and service a bit more. So maybe at first it's just link building. Maybe it's content marketing, right? Providing companies with blog posts. Maybe it's just doing technical SEO. So you can definitely hone down on your service a bit more, your SEO service a bit more. But for now, it's okay to say, I do SEO for X meta group. Niche item 1 is the thing that I'm going to be talking about today, which is choosing your potential avatar. And the last thing you should know in this statement is the benefit. What is the benefit of this? It allows you to stand out from competitors. So why do you need to choose a niche? There's 2 reasons. Reason 1 is perceived value, which leads to you getting more money. So let's take this for example, SEO for businesses. What the heck does that mean? That can apply to absolutely anyone. So maybe you can charge $2,000 per month for this, if that. The next is SEO for SaaS businesses. So I dial it down to just software companies. Then maybe I can say I can charge $3,000 a month, because then the software businesses will be like, cool, like, yes, this is for me. I need someone who knows SEO, who is specialized in SaaS companies, right? So it just gives that perceived value a bit more oomph. Okay, the next one is, let's say we say even go down a step farther and do SEO for SaaS businesses making 10 million plus in ARR, annual recurring revenue. So maybe I can charge $5,000 a month per that, because my services are specialized for SaaS companies that are already down the line, are already making a lot of money, and maybe I can get them to, 100 million plus in ARR. That's why the perceived value, the avatar is like, oh, okay, I'm a SaaS startup, let's say. I need someone in SEO specific in SaaS startup. This is exactly what I've been looking for. It's like a match made in heaven. They're like, cool, like, oh my God, I needed someone who specializes just for me in SEO. You see how someone can perceive your services in a so much more valuable way. And also, it's not a lie, right? Because you can tailor all of your SEO services and packages specifically for that avatar and getting that avatar results. So reason number 2 is you want to talk directly to someone. And you can see here in these messages below, I was speaking with a peer who does consulting for founders who want to grow on LinkedIn. So specifically, I believe he does B2B SaaS founders, and he helps them grow on LinkedIn and get more leads, customers, and become a thought leader on LinkedIn. And we were having a chat here, as you can see, and he said he was going for more content on LinkedIn that was really vague and talked more about his personal experience and who he was, and just his posts, social media posts, were just very vague, right? They were incredible. They were really great. He was getting so many views, likes, etc., but he wasn't bringing in the most valuable thing, which was leads, right? His potential customers, he wasn't speaking directly to them. You can even say here, instead of these broad topics that don't lead anywhere, it's too disconnected. So specifically, when you start your agency, eventually you'll have to go on social media, right? Social media or ads. If you talk to absolutely everyone, you're not talking to anyone, right? There's this famous quote that goes, when you speak to everyone, you speak to no one, right? So I'm speaking to you right now. I'm speaking to SEO agency owners or aspiring SEO agency owners. And that is my avatar. That's who I'm speaking to. But I'm not speaking to people who just want to make money online, anyone under the sun, right? No, I'm not speaking to e-commerce, people who want to do drop shipping, right? No, I'm speaking to people who want to start SEO agencies. And I hope that I'll solve this avatar's specific problems, like choosing a niche. When you hone down on your avatar more, you can speak directly to someone and help them out even more. And to drive my point even further, I'm in this mastermind course that specifically goes for more established SEO agency owners. And basically, the mentor here talks about you want to stand out in the sea of sameness. And you can take this analogy. I have this picture here of all these frat bros. Look at them. They all look the same, wearing the same short, just the color is different. It's just you don't want to appear in the sea of sameness, because otherwise you'll get lost in the competition. So you don't want to be just like everyone else. And by, not being like everyone else, you can hone down more on your niche. So choosing that specific avatar and then honing down on those services for that specific avatar. That's how you stand out. Otherwise, you'll become just like every other SEO agency. Then you're going to be competing on price, right? How can I go cheaper than this SEO agency? And then that's not a great business model. So just to sum this all up, by choosing a specific niche, you earn more money. It's easier to sell when you start hopping on those sales calls, and you can create what you're offering, right? You can really dial down on those SEO services that you're offering to that specific avatar. Number 3 is people value you more. As I said before, they'll just be like, hey, it's a dream come true. That was specifically, your SEO services are specifically built for me, just for me, right? You want to make them feel that way. You want to make them feel valued. You want to make your clients feel valued, understood, and seen. And you can do this by honing down on them specifically and their pain points. 4 is easier for you to direct your attention and focus to, right? So you can really get your services all dialed down for that specific avatar. 5 is easier for you to get your targeted clients' results. Now I know specifically for me, since my SEO agencies target SaaS startups, I know how to exactly get them results, right? Because I've seen different SaaS startups, websites, and worked with them. And it's just a numbers game at the end of the day. So now I know exactly, I can look at any SaaS startup and know exactly what to do for them. So my 3 simple factor framework for you. So let's start diving into how you can choose your niche. So 1 is your story, 2 is your personality, and 3 is your value. And I'll explain each of these. So number 1, your story. So I have this friend, he has a marketing agency specifically for wedding venues. And why did he choose that niche? That niche is wedding venues. Why did he choose that? It was because he owns a wedding venue. So his family owns a wedding venue. It's called the Barnyard. And he grew up in this environment. When he got older, he did all of their marketing for them. So he knew how to do it for his own family business. So he said, hey, let me start an agency that helps others, right? So you can have this backstory. How can you leverage that story, right? I already do this for my own family business. I own a wedding venue, right? I've done it for my family business. I can also do the same for you. And it's like there's just this piece of a use case or a testimonial or a story. And you could leverage that to speaking with those avatars. It's just going to be easier to connect with that specific avatar. Because let's say you are talking to those wedding venue founders who own the wedding venue. They're like, yeah, I own one too. Me and my family own one as well. And there's so much credibility online to show you what that marketing looks like and how I helped my own family and how I also want to take this mission to help others scale and become the wedding venue that they want to become. So what is your story? Is there anything that you have in your back pocket or your past experience or your story that you want to bring along to your next business venture, which is, if you're here, it's probably an SEO agency. Your story can also be your experience. So let's say you already had a job in some sort of industry for a couple amount of years, or you studied something in college, or you just had jobs while you were in high school, depending on where you are at in your career and life. So my background was in data science. I worked at a big pharma company in data science. I studied it in college. So I was a programmer, software engineer. And then I became the VP of engineering, vice president of engineering at an AI startup. I have this leverage. I can say I'm the ex-vice president of engineering for an AI startup. And that's how I can leverage my experience to help other software tech startups do the same and grow, right? I have that background. Now I have this SEO. I combine the two to do SEO for tech startups. I will say this wasn't an easy decision for me. I went back and forth on this a lot. I think for one thing in particularly, which I'm going to talk about in the next point, is that I'm talking with a bunch of founders, right? Men that are 50 plus years old, right? I'm 25 years old. I'm a young, bubbly, maybe my personality is a bit, and it's really hard for me to connect with the avatar a bit more. But that's okay. That doesn't mean it's impossible because I have this leverage. I can say, okay, cool, this is my experience. This is how, I can help you based on my experience, right? But of course, during the sales calls, I definitely have to make sure that I'm taking more of that leadership role and showing my value a bit more. You also want to think about your personality, right? And what avatar you're going to connect the most based on your personality. And it's okay, stereotype. And okay, I know this sounds bad to stereotype, but I promise it's going to really help you align what personality matches the most with that specific avatar. And this is what my 7-figure business owner mentor taught me. This is my mentor. If you saw in the other image, he was the one speaking with me in the course, in the live course right here. So he owns a 7-figure business that actually teaches just aspiring entrepreneurs how to make money online. So basically, he taught me in choosing my SEO agency niche is to go based on your personality as well. So one thing he said to me is I have a bit more of a bubbly personality, right? I'm a little bit more of like a cheerleader, like you got this, you can do this. So my avatar, I'm not really gonna connect with maybe law firms, which are more serious, right? That's the stereotype of law firms, which is like more serious, more down to business, etc. So obviously I'm not gonna choose that avatar. One, because I have no leverage in that, right? I don't have any past experience in law. Maybe if I had a law degree, possibly, but let's say I did have experience in that, maybe I wouldn't connect with them the most, right? Because they are more serious and not more fun and edgy as opposed to maybe like someone like tech startups, right? So yes, you want to kind of stereotype. Not everyone in law firms is serious, right? It's just a typical stereotype. So it's okay in this instance to stereotype. Think about what the majority of the avatar might be like and then base your personality off that, connect the two. Number 3 is your value. What do I mean by this? I had this one conversation with this other SEO agency owner, and he told me when we were chatting on LinkedIn was as far as finding an avatar, someone told me to go after the people who I want to see succeed. That's why I picked health and wellness. This really stuck out to me because it's so true, right? You're not going to be investing in your business if you don't actually care about who the avatar is that you're helping out. Let's say, for instance, I went for chiropractors for my SEO agency. I personally don't like chiropractors. It's just a personal thing. It always makes my back feel worse. So obviously I'm not going to do an SEO agency to help chiropractors because make sure you're choosing a niche and avatar you actually want to succeed. So the moral of the story is choose an avatar you can provide enormous value to, right? You know you can get them results because when you write the content, you actually know what possibly you're talking about. You actually want to help them and see them succeed. So I want to go into some examples because most of the time people are like, tell me what SEO agency niches exist out there, right? What are the most popular? So really quickly, according to Google, the most popular niches are local businesses. I have this italicized, because you don't want to just go into local businesses. You want to dial this down a bit more, right? You need to say, okay, cool, dog groomer, local businesses. So you want to dial that down a bit more. I also have this italicized because I think this is a great niche to go into, like go down the local business route because there's so many local businesses that have no idea about SEO and marketing. And if you were to do their local SEO for them, this could lead to a lot of money and a lot of business for you. So I think local businesses going down that route is really great, but you have to choose a specific niche in there. The other thing is e-commerce, but you have to choose a specific niche in e-commerce, right? I just pulled this off Google. I really recommend don't just Googling most popular niches, then choosing one of those, because most of the time you really need to dial down on this bit more and get more creative. So there's healthcare, real estate. I have one student who's in real estate, and it's really interesting because she started giving SEO services away, but her background's in real estate. Her husband, again, the story, her husband owns a whole real estate consulting company, I believe. So that's her leverage, right? And that's her story. She got a lot of business and clients through her husband's company, right? And then people perceived her product as so much better because she was like, cool, I do SEO services and I write blog content specifically for real estate. At first, she was writing this content herself, and people saw that her experience was showing in her content writing. So again, make sure that you choose specifically the niche that has the most leverage and your story and what your personality goes to more. So others is finance and legal SEO. So I actually worked with a financial consulting company. This was my friend's company, and I did all of their, gave away my services for free for the first year, just because I needed to earn more credibility and experience and gain testimonials. Highly recommend doing that, side note. And then like SaaS software companies, but of course there's so many software companies out there, so you need to dial down this more too, right? You can go specifically for social media management software companies, or B2B, B2C SaaS, or SaaS companies like I'm doing, like making a certain amount of revenue. Maybe it's startups. I know this one company, which I actually have pulled up here, which I'll take a look at. They help SaaS companies go from 10 million to 100 million ARR. So you need specifically to be making more than 10 million annual recurring revenue before you work with them, right? So that's an example. But again, this is just Google pulling in the most popular niches. Honestly, like pro tip, I wouldn't go after any of these unless you think about it a bit more. So my pro tip from working with 2,000 plus aspiring SEO agency students is any niche can make you a boatload of money. Any niche. Don't just go for like where you think the money is or the most popular one. Any niche you can build a credible business around and get creative. Go after something you enjoy, right? I know this one SEO agency, they're making a lot of money working with local moving companies. So really get specific in what you can offer. So more examples of this, like getting more creative, like dog groomers, law firms, golf e-commerce, right? Roofers, florists, coffee shops, anything that sticks out to you, right? Really research this, really think about your leverage and experience and go down this route, right? I already showed you, this was for law firms specifically. Here's SEO for dog groomers, which is really interesting. The options are endless. You just have to do your research and think creatively about your experience, story, background, personality, and value. And the other thing that I can say is just make sure there's a market for it. I just pulled up like Ahrefs. You can do some keyword research, SEO for, and then whatever your possible avatar that you want to go after. And just make sure there's some volume there, people actually searching for it. But again, be careful with this one because people might not know they need SEO. Like dog groomers have no idea possibly what SEO is, but they know they need something to help them grow online, to get them more customers, get them more online visibility. So just be mindful of this. Do some research. Don't get caught up so much on the volume, etc. But wait, before you leave, there's two more questions that I get asked all the time. So I just want to make sure I leave you off with the answers to these two questions. So the first one is what to do if I'm deciding between two niches. Maybe you're deciding between the dog groomers and the law firms, but you can't decide. I have a mentor that I met in Bali, and his name is Upton. He has like 1 million followers on Facebook, almost 200K subscribers on YouTube. And he told me to go where the money is. And let's say these two niches, you have the story that aligns, you have the value, you want to see them succeed, right? You have the personality that aligns. Then I will say we are all in this to build a business and get money, right? Not just some money, but a boatload of money. So make sure you choose the one that is right for you, right? Go where the money is. Maybe if you're choosing one, right, with the dog groomers, they're not going to necessarily have a lot of money than, let's say, like doctors, right, or those law firms, right? Those tend to make a little bit more money. So then choose the one where you think you can get the highest paying clients from. Cool. Question 2 is what to do if I still can't decide on any niche. You're not even deciding between two, you just can't decide on any niche. I have a 3-part framework that will help you out tremendously. So take these 3 practical steps that I know works wonders. So step 1, start applying to random SEO jobs on Upwork. So Upwork is a great place. Just optimize your profile and then apply to SEO related jobs. Could be blog posting, content writing, technical SEO, it doesn't matter, any SEO service. And then just work with those people, right? You get a amount of clients from all over, right? I've had, clients who I worked with agencies on this, chiropractors, plastic surgeons, anything under the sun. You can just work with a number of clients. And this is really great because you just gain experience along the way, especially if you're first starting out. So that's step 1, just applying to random jobs on Upwork. Number 2 is once you've worked with a couple of clients, look at your metrics. So together, put this in a Google Sheet. Like specifically for me, when I was first starting out, I was working with one financial advisor, a couple of SaaS startups, a couple of travel agencies. And I was like, cool, like let me see who I'm working with the most. That ends up being SaaS. But then I asked myself this question, right? Because you don't want to just go, because you can get more clients in any of these, right? Any of these would be great. But I asked myself, which is step 3, who do I like working with the most? And that was SaaS startups. I hope by the end of this video, you know what niche to go with. If you have any questions on deciding or choosing your niche, ask me in the comments below.